I want to welcome you all to the 84th Annual Chamber of Commerce Banquet. I remember the very first one. Hello? 84th, first one. My role here tonight is to generate a little bit of money off two auction items. The money will be used to pay off Julie's gambling debts. I'm sorry, it's not gambling debts, it's speeding ticket. It's not that either. It generates a little money for Julie to have in a little slush fund to do some things around the year. And most of you know about what these items are. There is an opportunity to nominate someone to bid on the opportunity, or to have the opportunity to put someone as the Grand Marshal for the Newport Christmas Parade, which is held the second Thursday in December. So last year it was Hype the Hound, which is Newport High School mascot. Year before that, I believe, was Dean Sides, and I could go down through the list and list and list. It's a great honor, and if there's somebody, an organization, some individual, whomever you'd like to bid for, we're going to start that bidding at $400. So at $400, if we could get more than $400 to start, let's go. 400, 400. Who'll give me 500? 400. Look, you'll be in history. You'll be the Grand Marshal for the Christmas parade forever and ever. You'll live in legacy. $500. Let's go. Who'll give us $500? If I've got $500 in the back, who'll give me six? I got 500 looking for six. 500. 550. Let's split it in the middle. 550. Who'll go 550? Anybody? I've got $500. 550. Anybody back in the back? Julie, can you see anybody back? You got 550? 550 going for six. Let's get $600. Last year it was a lot more than that. Let's get 600. I got 550 looking for six. Who wants to go to 600? It's a great honor. Anybody back in the back? Anybody back in the back? Julie, you see anybody with their hands up? If you don't want to bid, do this. Or if you just want to wave at me, do this. Looking for 600. 550. 550 looking for six. Julie? Anybody? You got six? You got a six looking for 650. I got 650 looking for seven. Let's get $700. I got 650 looking for seven. I got $700. Go to eight. We keep going. It's all a great deal for the chamber. 800. Anybody got an eight? Anybody got 800? Looking for $900. Let's go. 900. You got a nine? You got a nine? Did you get nine back there? Julie, did she get nine? Eight looking for nine. I need $900. Let's go. We'll get this done. Go to the next item. Need 900. 800 going once. Going twice. Is that a wave or are you bidding? 800 going twice. Sold for $800. Thank you. ASU Newport. Fantastic. The second item is a unique item. It is a street sign that is placed by the farmers market. It'll be put up in February and it'll stay up there all year long so people coming to the farmers market can see who's being honored by this. The last one was Reverend Dr. Bobby Berry. I knew him for a long, long time. And we want to make sure right now that we give that to Cherie and Mary. That's their sign to keep, and we appreciate them doing that. Fantastic. You get to keep the sign, and remember, it stays up all year. It's good advertising. You can do it in honor of a person, organization, a business, whatever you want to do. I personally am going to start it with $500 because I have a thought in my own mind. I know y'all don't think I do, but I do. I'm not only good looking, I'm pretty smart. All right, I got 500. I'm looking for six. 500. Let's go. Let's get up to $1,000 for this sign if we can. I may bid again. You got 600. Looking for seven. 600. Looking for seven. Great sign. You get to keep it forever and ever. 700. Who'll go 700 on the sign? We've got six looking for seven. Anybody? You got 700. Go to eight. $800. 800. Let's do it. This helps the chamber do some little things that they do from year to year. Have a little slush fund. Let's go to 800. 800. Have we got eight? Julie, get somebody to get eight. Can you got anybody? Anybody back there? 800. We got seven looking for eight. We got $800. You got eight? Okay. We got an eight. Great. Thank you very much. Let's go to $900. We need $1,000 to help Julie. I got $900. One more. We'll have an extended cab 10. Let's go. Got 900 looking for 1,000. 900. Let's go one more time. Get a $1,000 bill, and I'll sit down, and you don't have to look at me anymore. 900 looking for 1,000. The governor says we need that 1,000. I got $1,000. 1,000 going once. Oh, you got 1,100. You got all right. You got the 1,000. 1,000 going once. Going twice. Sold. Thank you. I want to remind you, look at the back of your program tonight. There is a 50-50 raffle. You buy these tickets for $5 a piece, and at the end of the night, you will split that raffle. I think 50 is almost half. So whatever the number is, you're going to get half of that. So who's selling tickets, Julie? Who's got all the tickets? What's that?
Crystal and Courtney.
Okay, Crystal and Courtney have got tickets. They'll walk around. You need some tickets, buy them. 50-50. You might make a lot of money tonight. Thank you. Have a great time.
I would like to welcome everyone to the banquet this evening. Thank you so much for attending. I'm Callie Johnson, and before we get started, I would like to call on Jay Cox, the pastor of Newport Pentecostal Church of God, for the invocation.
On behalf of Pentecostal Church of God and St. Michael's Place, welcome to tonight's banquet. Would you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in the name of Jesus. Lord, I ask for your hand of blessing upon each person that's here. Lord, I ask you to first bless our community. I ask you to bless our community's leaders. I ask you to bless, Lord, our future, and I thank you for our great past. Lord, I ask you, Lord, to also bless our state leaders, and I thank you for all that's represented here tonight. Lord, I ask you to bless the food, Lord, as we've already enjoyed such a great meal tonight. And Lord, I'd ask you to keep us safe, Lord, as we depart from this place later on, and keep us safe as we travel. Lord, I thank you for this gathering. I thank you for this fellowship. I thank you for what we're going to hear tonight, the speakers. And Lord, I thank you for the preparation that's went into this meeting tonight and this banquet. And Lord, tonight we'll just be careful to give you all the honor and the praise and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Jay. Hey, everybody. Howdy. It's Julie, the director of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a professional community and economic developer, and that's why I'm wearing this new name tag, because I have new letters behind my name. Y'all, this has been a sold-out crowd. We've had some that drop out and had a waiting list and had another waiting list and another waiting list. So you all are lucky to get to come and hear the governor speak. We do appreciate him joining us tonight. I just have a few comments I need to make, and we're going to get y'all out of here in time for the babysitter to go to bed. First, I want to thank the auction winners. ASU Newport, always supportive of the chamber. Thank y'all so much. Can't wait to see who's going to be the grand marshal of the parade. And I don't know if y'all saw, but I was just told who the sign naming winning bid went to, Senator Ronald Caldwell. And we appreciate you so much. And I do want to thank John G. Pennington for always doing a great job with the auction for us here at the Chamber Banquet. Some out-of-town guests that I want to just say hello to and thank you for joining us here in Newport tonight. Senator Caldwell is always here, and we do appreciate everything that you do for our community and our area. State Representative Craig Christensen is here. Thank you for coming. I forgot I'm old and I need readers now. So we also have our representative from Rick Crawford's office and a Newport native, Mr. Charles Landrum is here. Thank you for coming, Charles. And with Arkansas Economic Development Commission and my Community Development Institute classmate, we have Tanya Hass here with us tonight. We have a couple of partners from Entergy that we do want to recognize for being here. Mr. Chris Murphy, he's the project manager for business and economic development with Entergy, and we do a lot of work with him. And for our area, our regional service manager, Mr. Matthew Ferris, somewhere around here. Thank you. And we have a slew of elected officials at the city and the county and the regional level, and we appreciate you all being here in all of your capacities. We appreciate what you're doing to help Newport and Jackson County. Now, you do have a program. It has a list of the Chamber's Board of Directors in it, but I do want to recognize the outgoing Board of Directors as well as the current Board of Directors and the incoming Board of Directors. If y'all will please just stand to be recognized, and thank you so much for volunteering your time for this organization. Thank you all so much. I'm a lucky soul to have these volunteers as part of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all. And I do also want to thank and commend President Callie Johnson, who is our outgoing Chamber President. Thank you so much, Callie, for all of your work. And let me tell y'all, it just dawned on me, she is so dedicated to the city of Newport that she increased the population by 1 during her presidency by giving birth. I mean, that's dedication, let me tell you. And I think it's an interesting thing to note, just because girls rule and boys drool, that I think in the first time in the history of this area that the 2020 Executive Board, your chamber officers are all females. What? What? Just kidding. And then I also need to recognize our team, which is our Chamber Economic Development Office. First of all, our Newport Economic Development Director, John Chadwell, who is the best economic developer in the state, and I don't care, and everyone will tell you that outside looking in. Thank you, John. And the faces that you get to know when you walk into our office or for any of our events, we have Courtney Baker, who's our Assistant Director for Finance and Business Services. And she's around here somewhere, slinging tickets or something. And then Crystal Taylor, she's our Assistant Director for Marketing and Public Relations. We are small but mighty, and it helps that we have a lot of fun at the office too. Thank y'all. So just a few minutes to look back at 2019, which was a spectacular year for both Newport and Jackson County. First, your Chamber of Commerce is growing. We welcomed 49 new members in 2019, which far exceeded our goal for the year. We also hosted 15 ribbon cuttings, so that's ribbon cuttings for brand new businesses, and that is a record for a single year, which is fantastic. So thank you all if you're a part of that. We have our New Vision Newport Leadership Development Program, which I would put up against head-to-head with any other leadership development program in the state, because we rock. You all rock. We had Class 16 graduate in 2019 in May, and they had a really exceptional year with their projects. So if you see the wayfinding signs downtown, that was a class project. If you see the Pocket Park on Front Street downtown, that their phase 2 is a last year's New Vision team project, and the development of a tree arboretum on the ASU Newport campus. That was an ASU Newport project last year, so good job, Class 16. Class 17 is underway now. They will graduate this May, and they have some pretty cool projects as well that we look forward to seeing in the near future. One is an Art Up Downtown project. One is a new signature event that they'll be announcing for Jacksonport State Park, and another is a lighting project at Rimmel Park. So be looking for information about those, and thank you all for New Vision. And who all here is from New Vision? Who's a graduate? Good job. Love it. We are more than 300 strong. If you'd like to be in the program, we'll hit you up in August. We saw some other records in 2019 for the Chamber. We had our largest participation in our classy beautification program, which is called the Trashiest Team Cleanup Contest. And we award the team that picks up the most trash on a 1-mile stretch of road and name them the trashiest team in the county. Everybody wants to be that. We had close to 200 participants this year who collected 344 bags of trash, other debris from 21 miles of roadways, 37 acres of parks and lake banks in the Newport area alone. And that's the most participants we've had in at least 20 years or more in the history of this beautification project. So congratulations to all of you who participated in that. And the women's shelter won. Okay, just get that straight. Also proud of Chamber member businesses and organizations who helped with our very first Lead the Way kickoff for Newport School District this year. Thank you, Mr. Bunch, for bringing that to us. It literally took 3 hours, and all needs were met by the community, by the business community, for the week-long back to school for teachers and administrators and staff. And we wanted to welcome them in a big way. Morale is great this year. It's a fantastic school year. And for the first time in many years, our numbers are up at Newport School District. We're so excited. Tourism opportunities were also up in 2019. We had our tourism council hosted the very first Pedal in the Port cycling event, which I believe they plan on doing again in 2020. And also through the combined efforts of the tourism council and the Christmas decorating committee, which is actually Patty, we have Christmas decorations that continue to help light up Newport during the holidays, and I can't wait to see what's happening this year, Patty, for 2020. We appreciate y'all. If you haven't been downtown lately, I encourage you to do so. Y'all, I swear I'm almost finished. Because we have the new Monster Nights Downtown Entertainment Series that's 6 months, almost 30 different events, downtown, absolutely free from May through October. So I want you to get on Monster Nights, Newport's Downtown Entertainment District series, if you like art, if you like music in the park, if you like blues, if you like country, if you like rock, if you like movies, art workshops, children's theater, and all things cool, then go to Monster Nights and please participate. We had about 11,000 people total participate this past year, and we want to double that this year. So we're counting on y'all. So we had some other major indicators for growth in 2019. Jackson County moved up from a Tier 4 county, which is the lowest level, which we never like, to a Tier 3 county. That's a ranking that's based on a county's condition that includes things like unemployment, poverty rate, per capita income, population growth, and that is fantastic, folks. That means we're doing a lot of work to help do that. I do want to commend John Chadwell again and the Newport Economic Development Commission, because Newport was one of the first communities in the state to be designated as a competitive community in 2019 by the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. This is an extremely in-depth process, but it helps communities to be more prepared and competitive for economic development projects. And we are, so thank you very much. Jobs, 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 and more jobs. That's something else in 2019. They are available in all sectors right now. Our existing industries remain strong. We're adding jobs there. We have added jobs with Grangus, one of our newest industries. That's also adding jobs as we speak. We're excited about the 2 medical marijuana growers, the cultivators that are here, and they are finished with construction, and they're also hiring. And interesting tidbit, everybody wants to work in the marijuana plant. You put out one ad and there's 300 applications. It's the weirdest thing. All your people are applying for the pot jobs. That's really what I'm saying. Okay. But that's okay. We are also excited about other things. Our small businesses that I mentioned, all sectors in the community are growing. And we also are excited about the announcement of a groundbreaking soon on a new hotel coming to Newport. So that's fantastic as well. Excited about the accomplishments in 2019, looking forward ahead to a very prosperous 2020. In large part to most of you in this very room, because you're the reason and you're the volunteers who help move us forward, and we greatly appreciate it. And speaking of 2020, there's one thing very important coming up this year, and that is the census. This may be our year, and we need to be counted. We need everybody. So please be sure that you and your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers and your grandma and your friends' friends and the people in the grocery store line all are counted in the census, please. We need everybody to be counted because the higher our population in the census, the more funding that we get for programs and services locally. Okay? Deal? Promise? Okay. And finally, if you aren't a member of the Chamber, we'd sure love to have you. We have a lot of fun while we're making great progress in the community. The Chamber is funded solely by membership dues and fundraisers, and so your dollars are helping us do great things in the community, we think. Our members are businesses, they're organizations, churches, nonprofits, individuals, people in Newport, people in Jackson County, people in surrounding counties. You could live in California, we don't care, we'll take your money. So if you're interested, just please see me afterwards and I'll be glad to send you some information. So thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for allowing me to do this job because I love it and it's so much fun, and you're just all precious to me. As Michael's grandmother would say, you're smart people. It's that time of the evening for awards, and I'm going to call on Mr. Ward Massey.
I want to welcome you all here this evening. Glad to have the governor here. That shows we've done our job as a tourism committee. We got the #1 tourist in Arkansas here, so worked out pretty well. We've renamed the tourism committee award. Friend of Tourism is now going to be the Buddy Rutledge Memorial Award for Tourism. You know, Buddy worked tirelessly, and of course, unfortunately, we lost him last year, but he was a great friend to tourism and a great advocate of Newport. So we're really sad to see him go, but we hope this will be something to kind of live in everybody's memory. Our Friend of Tourism Award this year goes to a group of gentlemen that for 62 years, well, it'll be 62 years this year, they have been putting on a golf tournament in Newport, and there are hundreds of teams come every year. They spend a lot of money, they visit a lot of friends, and it's a great invitation tournament. So with that being said, our recipient this year is the Newport Country Club Invitational Committee. So if you guys all want to come up here, we'll give you all the award.
Congratulations, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Governor. My name is Henry Boyce, and for the past 20 years, I have been the Chamber of the Depot Days Committee of the Chamber of Commerce. Many of the folks in this room in attendance, some of you guests may not know, but just so the governor understands, Jackson County has a rich musical history. As everybody knows, many nightclubs and honky-tonks spanned Highway 67, old Highway 67, in the 50s when rock and roll pioneers came from Memphis to hone their crafts in the clubs. Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and many, many more, including our own dearly late Sonny Burgess. Over the years, that history was recognized in several forms. About 11 years ago, the legislature passed a bill creating or actually designating the highway as the Rock and Roll Highway 67. Subsequent to that, a museum was established on the second floor of the Newport Economic Development Center building and still exists today, and is a source of tourism for this community and attracts visitors from actually all over the country to attend to see the artifacts in that museum. In addition to that, actually way preceding that, 22 years ago, we began a music festival called Depot Days, which featured the late Sonny Burgess and Billy Lee Riley, who were both living here locally at the time, who had actually been pioneers in the rock and roll industry on the Sun record labels out of Memphis back in the 50s when rock and roll began. Over the years, that festival has blossomed and has now developed into a regional attraction year after year. Incidentally, did anybody catch the Cleverly show this past year? Anybody? It was probably the biggest crowd we've ever had at the festival, and we're very proud of that continuing tradition of recognizing the musical heritage of Jackson County. And to present the award, I want to recognize always the members of our committee who do the grunt work, the behind-the-scenes work, without which we could not put this festival on for the enjoyment of our community and the recognition of those way beyond Newport and Jackson County. And this year's recipient goes to Miss Lynn Collier.
The following awards will be presented by the Executive Board of the Chamber, and I'm going to start with the first award. I will be presenting the Community Pride Award. Beautification is a key aspect of community development, and each year the Chamber of Commerce recognizes an individual or group that exemplified community pride throughout the year. Positive change is one of this organization's missions for the group's residents, as well as their goals for projects in which they participate locally. These projects have included participation in the Great Arkansas Cleanup, maintaining flower beds at main intersections, and upkeep of planters downtown, as well as partnering with other community events like Monster Kids Fest, the Delta Arts Festival. We are honored to congratulate this organization and the women that it serves for their hard work and for helping us with more community pride. This year's Community Pride Award goes to John 3:17 Ministry.
Newport has a growing number of women-owned businesses. The staff at this small business has been described as professional, caring, courteous, helpful, and friendly. Their growth over the past 12 years recently resulted in a need to expand, which they did by investing in and renovating a new, larger space. The expansion has also given them the ability to expand their services and add several new jobs. With a combined 60-year-plus experience and an excellent reputation among patients and physicians, we are fortunate to have this business thriving in Newport. The Small Business Award winner is Newport Advanced Physical Therapy.
Next up, Large Business Award. I would imagine that it could be difficult for a large business with hundreds of locations in a dozen states to recognize the value and importance of community involvement in a rural community. But I'm pleased to be able to acknowledge this year's Large Business of the Year for doing just that, providing exceptional client service while at the same time encouraging and supporting community service. This has been their mission for over 130 years, and we're pleased to see that that mission is being reinforced over the last year through volunteerism, sponsorships, other local investments, including a recent facelift. We are excited about this year's Large Business of the Year, and the award goes to Iberia Bank.
Good evening. I'm here to announce the Bright Future Award. The Bright Future Award was first announced at the 2015 Chamber Banquet. I was honored to have been the recipient of that first award, which was created to recognize a new business that is laying the groundwork for a long and prosperous future. This year's award acknowledges local entrepreneurs who have successfully filled a huge void for our local citizens and faithful visitors when one of Newport's oldest eating establishments closed due to retirement. With the complete building renovation, an immediate passion for giving back to the community, and an atmosphere that's both familiar yet new and still delicious, please help me recognize and congratulate this year's Bright Future Award, Fathead Pizza.
Right. I am honored to be able to present the Chamber Ambassador Award, which recognizes...
We're tall.
I'm up here, sorry. The Chamber Ambassador Award, which recognizes someone who is an outstanding advocate for our community, both at home and across the state. Some of you may have grown up with this Newport native and know him for his positive outlook on life. Many of us got to know this individual when he was a participant in New Vision Newport Leadership Development course, where he was named the overall Visionary Award recipient by his classmates. But I bet that most of us know this man as a big-hearted, soft-spoken gentleman who has been capturing the moments of our children, our community events, and most importantly, for his love of this community. He's an exceptional individual who always presents Newport and Jackson County in a positive light. And for that, we'd like to present to him the Ambassador of the Year Award, Mr. Alton Walker.
Across, but we laugh through our teeth to get people here, so they have no idea that they're getting an award sometimes. And Alton was very surprised, but it's so deserving. We all love you, Alton, so much. Those last pictures may be blurry, I bet. Okay, speaking of blurry. All right, last award is the Outstanding Citizen Award. Y'all listen carefully, see if you can figure it out. Outstanding Citizen Award is being presented to an individual that has spent decades as an advocate for the town that he loves. He was first invited to attend a local civic club in the mid-1970s, where his early encounters with community leaders made him fall in love with the idea of community volunteerism. And now, more than 40 years later, I'm happy to report that he's still going strong. He was a Class II New Vision Newport graduate. He is now a 15-year member of the New Vision Newport Steering Committee, and he is still a member of that civic club all these years later, and a longtime secretary, and that's the Lions Club. The award serves as a thank you for embracing your role as a leader in Newport and Jackson County, for always being there to support local events and initiatives, and we want to thank him for being an advocate for you, for the Chamber, and for all things positive in Newport. I'm so happy to be able to present this year's Outstanding Citizen Award to David Gregory.
I'm down here. I would like to take this time now to congratulate all of the award winners, and I say let's give them all a round of applause again. I would like to introduce our guest speaker for the evening, the Honorable Governor Asa Hutchinson. Asa Hutchinson is the 46th governor of the state of Arkansas. In 2018, he was re-elected with 65% of the vote, having received more votes than any other candidate for governor in the state's history. He has won recognition for the state as a leader in computer science education and signed into law the biggest and second biggest income tax rate cut in Arkansas state history. Under his economic development policies, nearly 100,000 more people are working in Arkansas than when he took office. And he has signed incentive agreements with more than 400 companies that were expanding or opening in the state. Before being elected governor, Asa Hutchinson served as director of the DEA and as an undersecretary of Homeland Security. Voters in Arkansas's 3rd District also elected him to Congress 3 times. A graduate of the University of Arkansas Law School, Asa Hutchinson, at age 31, was appointed by President Reagan as the nation's youngest U.S. attorney. He and his wife, Susan, have been married for more than 40 years. They have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Thank you. Thank you, Callie. Thank all of you for coming out. I'm very honored that on a little bit of a chilly night that you're out here to celebrate your community. And I grew up in a very small town, Gravette, population of 1,000 out on the farm. And so I grew up in a small community. And I understand that Arkansas is simply made up of a whole bunch of small communities. And whenever I see the community and the school and the industrial leaders and the business community all rallying around a town and an area, it gets me excited because that means Arkansas is doing well, our communities are doing well, and we've got a bright future. So congratulations to all the award recipients tonight, those that are rightfully recognized. And Callie, thank you for your leadership. Julie, bottle that enthusiasm and you can market it all across Arkansas. I like that. And I always want to recognize, of course, our legislative delegation here, Senator Ron Caldwell and Representative Craig Christensen, who does a good job for you. Give them another round of applause if you will. And I appreciate the mayor, Mayor Stewart, and his service on our Complete Count Census Committee. And that's important work for us to make sure all across this state everybody is counted. If everybody remembers your school class and the teacher checking the roll, they would always call the roll, and at the end they would say, "Did I miss anybody?" And you'd raise your hand. Well, that's what the complete count is all about, is making sure we get everybody counted. It's important for our state. I'm glad that you're engaged in it. Now, Callie mentioned that I have 6 grandchildren, and I want you to know that as I leave here tonight, I'll be able to watch one of my grandsons, Abel, playing high school basketball for Bentonville. They broadcast games anymore, so I get to watch it on the way back, so we're covered. But I love my grandkids, and I love grandkids' stories as well. And so when I was back in the private sector, I had to make a business trip to Abu Dhabi over in the Middle East. And so I was trying to explain to my then 5-year-old grandson that I was going to Abu Dhabi. And of course, he looked at me very puzzled and trying to understand this concept. And then he goes to his kindergarten class and reports to all of his classmates that his papa was going to have to spend the weekend in Hobby Lobby. So, other than bragging on grandchildren, I love to brag on Arkansas. And I like it when other people brag on us as well. So I went to the National Governors Association. And I'm there with all the governors, and the NASA, National Space Administration administrator, was speaking to us, and right before he testified, he dropped by my desk a bumper sticker, a car sticker that said, "Space exploration begins in Arkansas." Underneath it were all the companies that are located in Arkansas that are engaged in the space industry, in the aero defense industry. I love telling people things they don't know. And of course, here in Jackson County, you've got a major part of the steel industry here. And whenever we look at the fact that steel production is one of the major enterprises of Arkansas, it brings us great pride. I love telling people that if you buy a Dassault Falcon jet anywhere in the world, you have to fly into Arkansas to pick it up, because we do the final assembly here. So we have so much to talk about here, and the success that you have is deserving of celebration. I like the economy of this area because it's balanced and it is diversified. Whenever you understand the importance of agriculture being our #1 industry, and that's a big part of Jackson County, but you look at your food processing center, you look at tourism through Jacksonport State Park, and as Boyce said, you've got your rock and roll highway, and you got your celebrations here. But manufacturing is such a critical part. And by the way, manufacturing jobs have been on the decline in the United States of America in recent years. But guess what? In Arkansas, our manufacturing jobs are going up and increasing. We're bringing manufacturing back. We're ranked 6th in the nation in terms of our workforce that has experience in manufacturing. And much of that is right here with Arkansas Steel Associates, Southwest Steel Processing, Grangus Americas as well, representing foreign direct investment here in this area. You've got it all, and then you add to that your health care, you add to that your small business that's represented here in this room. That's the lifeblood of any community. You have a diversified economy that gives you strength. I'm proud of your education here with ASU Newport, and also your growing coding program that's sort of close to my heart in your school system here. Keep promoting it. If you're on the school board, check on those numbers every year. Make sure we're having the teachers there that can teach it. Make sure that we have the support that they need for that program that is so important to the future of Arkansas. Now, last year, we talked about your success here. Let me just look at it a little bit more from a statewide perspective. 2019 was a good year in Arkansas, both in terms of job creation, economic growth, our budget, but also what we were able to accomplish in the legislative session. And again, hats off to the General Assembly. I went in there with 4 major initiatives. I called them my 4 T's. I said we needed to increase teacher pay, we needed to have tax cuts, we needed to transform our state government, and we needed to pass a transportation bill, a new highway bill. Well, guess what? Those are some of the most ambitious agenda items that you can have in a legislative session, and the General Assembly gave us every one of those. Not easy, but they gave us all of those. So we raised teacher pay by $4,000 over the next 4 years, and we set aside $60 million to help smaller school districts to meet that challenge and to make sure we can meet that obligation to increase teacher pay. When it comes to tax cuts, by the way, I just returned from the SHOT Show, which is the Shooting Sports Trade Association. It's the largest one in North America. I've recruited industry there for Arkansas. And as I'm there, I'm meeting with this business from Oregon. And they were there, they were marketing their products. It was multi-million-dollar business. I had about 50 employees, and the gentleman looked like Grizzly Adams. And he was unhappy in Oregon because they just raised the tax that impacted him, and he's looking for an option to go elsewhere. And I said, welcome to Arkansas, you'll fit in real well here. And so we're recruiting him. But tax cuts make a difference. And whenever we look at our surrounding states and the competition you have, in a mobile society, businesses can go anywhere. And so we have lowered our individual income tax rate in Arkansas from 6.9%, and next year it'll go to 5.9%. That's a significant reduction. Money in people's pocket they spend with your downtown merchants. When I talk about transforming state government, we went from 42 different departments of government down to 15 that report directly to me. That is a reorganization, yes. It gives me better management tools. I use the illustration that if every department head, 42 of them, wanted an hour of my time once a week, my week is shot. And so I made that illustration, so after we passed transformation, the media came to me and said, now that you passed transformation, what are you doing with all that free time you've got? And it made me realize we have organized it better. I've got more time to look at bigger issues, things that impact our state, and so it was really the right thing to do to lead to more efficiencies. This went through Senator Caldwell's committee. And so he was diligent in it, he was hard-nosed about it, but we got it done. Thank you, Senator Caldwell, for your support of transformation. Now, when it comes to the highway, I'll spend a little bit later on this topic, but they passed phase 1 of the highway bill during the session because everyone recognized the need to improve the maintenance of our roads, and particularly our farm-to-market roads. Also, it allows you to invest in the future for infrastructure and growth because that helps us to attract the right kind of businesses in Arkansas and to grow our economy. We passed that. And so the result of all of that is that those are all pro-growth initiatives. And yes, I have a growing agenda for Arkansas, both in terms of recruiting industry here, expanding existing industry, but in policy, to have fewer regulations, lower taxes, so we can grow in this state. And that's working. The economy is strong as it is here, and even with tax cuts and raising teacher pay, we have a $140 million surplus in Arkansas we've put in our savings account, and even in this current year, we've got a surplus. And so I know you all are saying, well, send us some of that money. There's a lot it needs. I'll talk about that here in just a minute. So that's some of 2019, but now let's look forward to the future because it's all about the future and where we want to go. I'll just share a couple of keys to continued economic growth in our state and in our community. And the first fundamental part of that is continued improvements in education. It starts with reading. My goal is to have students that are in the 3rd grade reading at 3rd grade level. Simple, fundamental concept. Because as I grew up with parents that only had a high school education, but they knew the fundamentals of reading and helped me. And so we work on the science of reading in the schools, emphasizing phonics, the culture of reading in our community, where we get books in our community, and then if someone falls behind, give them an individualized plan to catch up. It's called our RISE initiative, Reading Initiative for Student Excellence. We want to improve reading skills in Arkansas. Secondly, when it comes to computer science, it is nice that Arkansas, with what we've done in high school, integrated in our K through 8 curriculum, and the way we've invested in it in retraining teachers, Arkansas is currently leading the nation in a comprehensive computer science education program. We went from 1,100 students to 9,800 students at Arkansas taking computer science. And guess what that means? That means that you're able to develop that entrepreneurial spirit close to home. They can work on their front porch, out of their front porch in Newport, Arkansas, and run the world when you have access to high-speed broadband and you know computer science, computer coding. Because we hire people all the time in countries overseas or in Houston or in Silicon Valley to work on projects here. So reverse that, and it's an asset for a small community. But it's also part of education is our workforce training. We want to make sure that every student has access not just to a college path, but if they choose to a career working path in an industry such as welding or such as construction or HVAC, we need to develop those skills and machinists. And so when I became governor, we had 54 high schools that did not have access to a career learning center. That's been reduced. This next fall, it'll be reduced down to 2, and we want to get that to 0. So we're going to continue to invest in that future of education and workforce training. But I said I was going to come back to highways, and the second phase of our highway plan will be on the ballot this November. November, you'll have the opportunity to say yes or no to the extension of the half-cent sales tax. Now, it's not a new tax, an extension of an existing tax. So remember, it's no new tax. But if that tax does not continue, the half-cent sales tax that goes to highways, then Jackson County will have less money for their road maintenance. The city of Newport will have less money coming in turn back because they won't have that revenue stream at the state level that can turn back to the city and counties. It's a matter of losing money, but it's also, if it passes, that means we're going to have funds when the bond program ends, which it will end in a couple of years. When the bond program ends, we'll be able to go to a pay-as-you-go highway system and invest another $200 million at the state level every year in highways, new construction, maintenance that keeps us up. Do you all like the idea of supporting a good, strong highway program in Arkansas? I hope you do. And then we need, in addition to that, we need to make sure that we have high-speed broadband in the rural communities of our state. And so whenever you look at that, we put them in the schools. We put high-speed broadband in every school in Arkansas. Ranks very high in the nation in terms of access. But that student who works on the coding in schools, or they work on their homework in school, or do the assignment in school, they will go home and try to finish that project. And all of a sudden, they don't have the connectivity because they're in a rural area of the state. So they wind up going to the downtown McDonald's or another restaurant, any place that they can get connectivity. If you want to attract business, if you want to do the home businesses, if you want to help education, we need to expand and increase that access. So for the first time, I've asked the legislature to devote $25 million of Arkansas money to a grant program to accelerate the deployment of high-speed internet in the rural communities of Arkansas. That will make a difference for the future. And then I want to assure you, when you look at the future, I'll continue marketing the state. There's a lot you can do, but there's something you can't do that only a governor can do, and that is to go overseas, to go over and market Arkansas. And they say, "Where's Arkansas?" And I explain it to them. And they say, "Wow, that's geographically well located." I talk about our steel industry. I talk about what we do in aero defense. And we put it on their radar screen when they expand and want to invest that Arkansas is considered. And so those simple calls that I make, the marketing that this governor does, allows us to recruit a Sig Sauer into Arkansas, to bring a Czech Republic company that makes firearms here into this state, to expand the steel industry here. And I want to continue to market the state of Arkansas because I enjoy it and it makes a difference for our state. And so I hope that you can tell I'm just about as excited as Julie in terms of our future and where we go. I want to end with talking about a former president that I have such great admiration for, and that is Ronald Reagan. Now, I was a young U.S. attorney in the administration of Ronald Reagan, and during that time, I had the incredible opportunity to go into the Oval Office, and it was my first trip to the Oval Office. And as I'm in the Oval Office, what do you do the first time you're anywhere the first time? You look around and try to memorize everything, particularly in a historic place like that. And I saw what he had on his desk, the motto, "It can be done." I saw another motto where it said, It's amazing what can be accomplished when you don't care who gets the credit. But there are two characteristics of Ronald Reagan that I want to take with me. One, he was a consistent conservative. He knew what he believed, and he tried to stick with those values of growing the private sector and not just the government. But the other characteristic of Ronald Reagan that I love was that he was an optimist. He had hope for America. It was always the shining city on the hill. It was about the future of America in bright, glowing terms. Well, I still today, despite the challenges we face as a nation, I'm optimistic about our country, our democracy, our leadership role in the world. Yes, we have challenges that we can overcome. But when it comes to Arkansas, I'm super optimistic because of the strength of people in this room and our strength of our communities, the commitment to education, and the commitment to making sure that we continue to grow our economy in this state. Thank you for supporting families, communities, and helping one another because it makes a difference. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Governor Hutchinson. On behalf of Newport and the Chamber, thank you again for being here this evening. I would like to take this time to reflect on the past year. It has been a year of change and great new beginnings for both the Chamber and my family personally. On November 20th, I missed my one and only Chamber meeting because my husband Brad and I welcomed our daughter Olivia. As Julie had stated, the Chamber also exceeded its goals with new members as well as having a record-breaking 15 ribbon cuttings. Newport is growing, and the work of the Chamber and the Chamber member businesses is a huge part of the success we are experiencing. The Newport Chamber has a very qualified staff that works hard every day to make things happen in Jackson County. I would like to recognize and thank Julie Allen, Courtney Baker, and Crystal Taylor for all the hard work and long hours they put into our community. One of the many things I have always admired about Newport is we literally have hundreds of volunteers who donate their time and their money to the community. Many of you have given yourselves this year for no other reason than you want the best for your town. I am proud to call you my friends and my neighbors. We are blessed in Newport to have great leadership. The Chamber, City, Council, County, and Economic Development and all our businesses work together in a way that is very rare. It is the spirit of cooperation that has helped Newport and Jackson County grow, and that is most evident on the Chamber Board of Directors. Working on the Chamber Board has been a wonderful experience for me personally. Although I did not grow up in Newport, I am so happy that I now call Newport home, and my husband and I have the opportunity to raise our daughter in Newport. The hometown spirit, the acceptance of people who want to be in the community, whether they were raised here or not, and the desire to work together make this the perfect community in which to live, to work, and to raise a family. I will conclude by saying I'm very excited to pass this gavel to Terry Ann Turner. Goodness, I'm so sorry. Terry Ann has been a great board member and will be an exceptional president for the Newport Area Chamber of Commerce. I can only hope she enjoys the experience as much as I have. Terry Ann, thank you for your willingness to serve. I now pass the gavel on, and I want to wish you a wonderful, exciting, and fun year.
Callie, not so fast. Come on back, please. We have a little something to show our appreciation to Callie. Callie took on her presidency and motherhood in the same year and has done a remarkable job with both. And thank you so much. thought I lost the gavel already. I found it, it's okay.
We won't fire you, I promise.
Thank goodness. Okay, for the first order of business, I have an announcement. Our third annual Pot of Gold fundraiser will be held Saturday, March 14th, beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. right here at the Newport Country Club. $10,000 will be up for grabs. However, only 100 tickets will be sold at $200 each. A ticket includes one additional guest, complimentary beer, wine, hors d'oeuvres, live music, and a whole lot of fun. Tickets will be sold starting tonight, so on your way out, you can find Courtney or Crystal and make sure you get your lucky numbers. Next, we're going to draw for our 50-50 pot tonight. Governor, would you do the honors of drawing our ticket? Are we extra lucky this way?
One person.
Okay, so our 50-50 pot has a total of $433, and our winning ticket number is 164664. Ah! We have a winner. Congratulations, Kenny. Kenny Fletcher, I think you owe the governor a big thank you. Thank you, Governor Hutchinson, for taking time out of your hectic schedule, for coming tonight and speaking with us. Thank you all for being here. It's an honor to be here in the room with each man and woman who makes Newport, this community that we all love, so great. My last official thing, this meeting is adjourned.